My mother-in-law left me her prized family recipe in her will. When I finally made it, I discovered why she always hated me but made sure I got it when she died. I married Jake 5 years ago. From day one, his mother Elaine made it clear I wasn't the woman she'd envisioned for her only son. She was polite but cold, the kind of woman who would compliment your dress while subtly suggesting it might fit better if you lost weight. Every family dinner featured her famous chicken dish that everyone raved about. The recipe was a closely guarded secret she promised to pass down only to family who deserved it. Her eyes would always find mine when she said this. When Elaine was diagnosed with cancer last year, I was the one who drove her to chemo appointments while Jake worked during those quiet car rides. Something shifted between us. She never became warm exactly, but the ice definitely thawed after she passed. We were surprised to discover she'd left me a handwritten note with her recipe along with her vintage mixing bowl. The note simply read, "For Emma, now you are truly family." It felt like a peace offering. Final proof she'd accepted me. I was touched and planned to make the dish for the 1-year anniversary of her passing. Yesterday, I finally gathered the ingredients and followed her meticulous instructions. As I worked, I felt connected to her, imagining her hands performing these same steps countless times, but something seemed odd about the recipe. It called for expensive ingredients in tiny amounts, elaborate preparations that ultimately got discarded, and cooking times that seemed excessive. Still, I followed every instruction precisely, wanting to honor her gesture. 3 hours later, the kitchen was a disaster, and the resulting dish was absolutely awful, bland, dry, and slightly bitter. I called Jake's sister Michelle in a panic. I must have done something wrong. It tastes terrible. There was a long pause before Michelle started laughing. "You actually made it with every step exactly as written." Confused, I confirmed I had. "Emma," she said, still laughing, "that's not the real recipe. Mom never wrote down the real one. She cooked by instinct and made up different fake versions whenever someone asked. She said if anyone truly loved food, they'd know it was wrong just by reading it. So why would she leave me this?" I asked, staring at the mess in my kitchen. Michelle's voice softened because she finally respected you. This was Mom's ultimate test. She knew you'd be dedicated enough to follow every ridiculous step, but also smart enough to eventually figure out it was nonsense. Later that night, I found Jake looking through old photo albums. I told him about the conversation with Michelle and showed him the disaster dish. He smiled sadly. "That sounds like Mom. She never made anything easy." Then he pointed to a photo I'd never seen: Elaine in her 20s, laughing in a kitchen covered in flour. She always said cooking wasn't about following directions. It was about making something your own. I now keep the fake recipe framed in our kitchen. When people ask about it, I say it's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable inheritance isn't a perfect formula, but the courage to create something authentic. And yes, I am still working on my own version of that chicken dish. It's getting better every time.